Ask Reddit.
Reddit, what's the funniest thing that a random stranger said to you that made you die laughing inside? I was in the drive-thru of a Wendy's one time. An employee exited the building with his headphones on and was singing "Who Let the Dogs Out" at the top of his lungs. He saw me, stopped singing, and started walking away. A few seconds later he come up to my window and said, "Yes, that is what I'm listening to." Then he walked away. I laughed so hard at the whole situation. Given your username, this story is even better. Feels good to get off work, can't blame him. I keep rereading this and laughing at it. Teenager? I'm picturing a sickly pale spectacled spectacle in this scenario. Okay, the laughter was not entirely inside, but years ago on the subway in New York, a crazy dude walks on the train and screams at everyone, "You're all going to hell." And then steps off as the doors close. Total silence as the weirdness of the moment settles in. Then, without missing a beat, guy across from me goes, "Shit, I thought this train was going to Harlem." Entire subway car of cynical New Yorkers bursts out laughing. I wish I had the balls to make people crack up like that. Hahaha. His timing was completely perfect too. Some people are just natural comedians. Guessing I'm an accidental occasional crazy dude. I had no idea people would find me funny until I just started speaking at a normal volume, the types of comments I had made under my breath for years. My experience says that has little to do with actual comedic ability. Which proves his point. Some people are just naturally funny by their observations, without even trying or realizing. This explains me every new job I go to. They always say I should be a comedian, I just don't know where to take it, lol.
I was helping a customer pick out a new bra, and she said she wanted her breasts to be lifted. She said, "My boobs are so saggy that if my nipples were eyeballs, I'd be able to see if my shoes were untied." I really tried my best to remain professional, but I couldn't stop laughing, lol. She totally intended for you to crack up, she wouldn't have held it against you. I think you meant that you tried your breast. Take your upvote and hide before the pun police arrive. Too late, they have been arrested. You mean abreasted.
Movie just ended, me and my dad join the mad rush to the bathrooms, urinals are packed, it's our turn, we doing our business, suddenly someone rips a huggy fart, lol, it's pretty funny, but we all have manners, still peeing, suddenly this dude proclaims, "It was me," and runs out the door. Whole bathroom erupts in laughter. I was at DFW airport a few months ago. Bathroom is full of people, so there's like 15 dudes in this giant bathroom waiting for a urinal. Guy at one of the urinals in a super nice suit rips a pretty gnarly one, but it sounded like he might have needed a change of underwear. You could cut the tension with a knife. Dude looks over his shoulder slightly and says, "Fucking relax, I'm a professional." Everyone had a good laugh over that one. Sorry, it was the asshole behind me. A few years ago I let my friend cut my hair, it did not go well. I was living in Philadelphia at the time and was walking through South Philly when I passed two strangers in the middle of the conversation. As I pass, one of them says to the other, "Hold up, I gotta talk to this guy." He proceeds to shout to me, "Ayo. Your hair looks like shit. Come over here." I was amused, partially because of his bluntness and partially because he wasn't wrong. I was curious, so I walked over to him. He says, "Look, a buddy of mine owns a barbershop 2 blocks away. Here's his business card, I'll write my name on there, if you mention that I sent you he'll give you a good deal." Bruh, but seriously, take care of that shit. I never ended up going to his friend's shop, but I frequently use this story as the perfect example of Philly culture. Rude, blunt and in your face, yet somehow coming from a place of genuine care. Plus, it's fucking hilarious. A few months ago I was waiting at a road crossing with loads of other strangers, waiting for the man to turn green. This was a busy main road in my city. A little girl on the other side of the road did the most accurate impression of the beep beep that the crossing makes so blind people know it's safe to cross, and the entire crowd of people just stepped into the road. I had seen her do it, so I stayed put, but I couldn't stop laughing. My girlfriend was confused. 50 adults pranked by one absolute genius 6-ish-year-old. It was magical. Edit. It was really busy, so traffic was hardly moving, there wasn't a chance of being injured. I saw something similar happen. I was on a rail replacement bus. Someone had pressed the button to get out before the station. The bus stopped, a lot of people got off, and as we drove off I saw the faces of confusion as they realized they got out at the wrong stop. May of 2000, passing through Norwood, Louisiana with a friend, at around 2 in the afternoon, we stopped to gas up, grab some snacks at the most potting gas station known to man. A young man, extremely agitated, comes in with frustrated gestures and angrily shouts gestures at the cashier with an accent that is beyond region, beyond stereotyping, beyond anything I have heard before. Where da got damned Wally Mellions at? At the top of lungs, approaching hysteria and tears. This reminds me of the time I asked for directions in South Georgia and it went like this. Her. Go down there and take a left us. Her. Then go past the gas station us. Okay her. Then yon us. Yon? Her. Yeah. Then yon. Took us forever to realize she was saying, then you're on your own. This reminds me of a story me dad would tell near Boston that went like this. Coworker? So, you got PSDs? Dad? What? Coworker? You got PSDs, Dad? What are PSDs? Coworker? They're PSDs. After some more back and forth, much like this my dad realizes he is say peer steers. This guy was saying peer steers like PSDs. It always cracks me up. When I was about 8 years old, 40 some odd years ago, my mother and I were waiting to be seated at a restaurant and an older gentleman was ahead of us also waiting. The waitress asked him if he'd be smoking, back when that was still a thing in restaurants, and he replied no, but I may burst into flames later. Young me laughed all through lunch at that, in fact it still makes me giggle lol. And after his meal the waitress asked, do you want a box for the burger? And he replied with, no, but I'll wrestle you for the fries. The college I attend frequently has local elementary and middle school kids on tours, especially on Fridays. One particular Friday I was in line for the cafeteria when a group of kids came walking by with a tour guide. One kid, a chubby little dude, looked a bit uncomfortable. He was biting his lip a little and sweating. This part of the tour is usually when they have a bathroom break and clearly Buddy needed to go. At this point I should note that the bathrooms are visible from where we're standing. But the tour guide, a fellow student of mine, didn't seem to notice. She just kept going on and on, talking about the history of the building. I watched this kid go from nervous to deeply anxious to visibly clenching over a span of about 3 minutes. He's staring at the stick figure dude on the men's bathroom sign as if it was the risen Christ. Ms. Tour Guide takes a break in her spiel. I figure she's done. The next words out of her mouth will be ones to free this boy from the purgatory that is having to use the bathroom on a school trip. It'll be over. He'll be free. What followed, instead, was this. So in 1995, a professor named ABC Kalamazoo moved lady, I'm gonna shit my ass. He ran past her to the bathroom and presumably destroyed it. Poor guy. Had the entire line in tears with laughter though. Edit. I'm not from Kalamazoo, and Professor Albert Bach Cornelius Kalamazoo isn't real. Sorry to crush y'all's dreams. But he does live through all of our hearts. Also thanks for all the gold or whatever. It feels weird to get such attention, however fleeting, for just wanting some chicken tenders and witnessing a kid almost poop himself. When I was a freshman in college I had a pair of rainbow bell-bottoms I made and wore a lot. I walking through the city back to the dorms when a guy rode up behind me on a bicycle. He was old, had long, scraggly gray hair and a bright red and yellow windsuit on. He rode beside me for a second, stared and then yelled, "Miss, your pants are hot Wyatt," and rode away into the sunset. It was so random and hilarious. Every time I wore those pants my friends would run up behind me and yell, "Your pants are what?" My fiancé had really long hair in high school. He was also fairly thin and rode his bike a lot to get around. One day he was biking to a light and these two obnoxious guys in a car behind him started catcalling him. Then he turned his face around to show them his ridiculously full beard. They started to freak out but were stuck next to him until the light turned. It was super awkward for them and hilarious for my fiancé. I like to think he may have stopped them from catcalling women in the future. Dude looks like a lady.